My favorite tier of all the tiers is crapper, get off the pot. You say it a little bit differently, but that's just the way I say it here on the podcast. And that every year, it's my favorite one because you can see, are they going to crap, which is actually a good thing for them,
right?
Or are they going to get off the pot, which would not be a good thing? Apparently, that choice was a false choice. Some of these quarterbacks did not even need to make a choice with that. And so this tier that we go into now on the pyramid is still on the pot. These are two players that were in the crapper get off the pot category last year, and they're still there.
Yes.
It's a year later.
They're still there. Then their legs are stiff. They've been in an awkward position for a long time here, right? But yeah, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, that's where we're going here with this next conversation. Yeah, they're at a point in their career where there's a lot of things I like, right? But it's got to go one way or the other here, and I think this is the year that it happens. Whether it's like, hey, does he get it? Does Daniel Jones take the reins and become the starter of the Colts and play well and establish himself and get all the haters off him to go, hey, I am a starting quarterback in the NFL, that's it? Or does it not work? He falls on his face. Anthony Richardson takes over. He's the starter, and Daniel Jones becomes a backup for the rest of his career. But that's where we are, and we'll hit on Daniel Jones here first. Yeah. Again, you know me. I think a little bit more of Daniel Jones maybe than the public does. I do.
Which is crazy because
I didn't start that way.
You hated where the Giants took him.
Right.
The hate went too far.
Well, I mean, it did. And, that's one where, again, I don't know if he was ever the number 6 pick of the draft. I'd like to say, yeah, did good job on that evaluation, Chris. You were right on that one, right? But also, it also swung too far in the hate of Daniel Jones, too. And I think maybe that was because people felt like he was overdrafted, and so that got it off on a bad note, right? He was booed this first time he went to a Yankee game. Like, I was like, well, come on, that's overdoing it. Yeah. But as we've talked about here, too, Daniel Jones is better than people realize. The physical abilities are better than people realize. The decision-making is better than people realize. Now, you're going to see some bad decisions, some things that go along, but there are more ripple effects, snowball effects of a lot of dysfunction and crap that was going on around him. As you know, that's the old saying, right, that you like to say. When you're around shit and you're by shit all the time, sometimes it gets on you and you start to smell like shit.
It's going to be on my tombstone.
That's on your tombstone. You live by that. I'm having fun because Ahmed doesn't swear, of course. But so we got to look at some of that too, okay? We're talking about a guy that is a pretty good decision maker. In fact, I think he's a better decision maker than he gets credit for because, again, when you're getting your head knocked off in 1.5 seconds all the time, right, and you don't have a receiving group and everything like that just gets open everywhere on the field. And when he was playing early on in the last year, the only guy they could really depend on there early part of the year was Malik Neighbors. Everything was situated around him. Now, is he perfect? No, I know that, right? I know that. And a little bit like the difference of maybe the guy we just talked about in Russell Wilson is he has all the stuff. He can be surgical. And, oh, my gosh, what a great decision. And, ooh, way to get that ball into a tight window, 8, 10 yards, 12 yards down the middle of the field. Whoa, that was nice, right? But where he doesn't take advantage of things and where you want him to more is some of the more big plays, explosive plays, throwing the ball down the field, right? Those are, to me, the issues. And, again, I think some of that is because it hasn't always been served on a platter for him. Mm-hmm. He hasn't got a ton of opportunities to do that. He is always under pressure to where it doesn't ever get to throw the balls down the field and have a clean pocket and be in that spot. But where I always defend him is every quarterback that's come into play for the Giants the last few years, they can't last more than 10 plays, and they're knocked out of the game. And then here he was just taking shots everywhere, getting the shit beat out of him, and he hangs in there a little bit. So I still think there's untapped potential here, but there's some things, yes, that need to get better, certainly. And he's a guy that I think he can get better at backyard football. He can get better at off-platform throws and on-platform throws. Daniel Jones has a mechanical flaw that I see going on in the NFL right now, or young quarterbacks, and a lot of it everywhere right now, of they don't really drive through the ball, right? My dad and I talk about this a lot because it drives us crazy. And I want people to watch this. I almost want to stand up right here, right now, and show people, right? I'm going to stand up, okay?
Do it.
So
you might have to stand back.
I might have to stand back a little bit so you see it. But, all right, so here we go.
Hold the microphone.
You might have to hold the mic for me a little bit.
I got it.
Okay? All right, so you'll see most quarterbacks, as I stand back here a little bit, right? You got John Elway or any quarterback like that, and you just unplugged yourself, right? Okay, I got it. I think I could do it. I think I got it. You see a lot of quarterbacks, though, they throw the ball, and they come straight. The other foot ends up being parallel to the front foot that's stepping, right? Does that make sense there? Right? So I'm squatting down, so I hit it a little bit. But you see most quarterbacks, they throw it, and it goes like that. And they're parallel here. They got through the ball. They drove through the ball. Okay, now, what you'll see from Daniel Jones and Will Levis and a bunch of quarterbacks, and I see quarterback coaches all over the country teaching quarterbacks like this right now. They throw the ball, and they stay there like this. And I'd go, that is pitiful. One, you're compromising accuracy, you're compromising power on the football, and you're going to stay in a position where you're underneath the football a lot too, and the ball's going to fly away and float away. But that is something that he does that I would really like to see get fixed. We could have probably orchestrated that a little better. I could have probably warned you a little bit better.
In real time. This is
okay.
How cords are unplugging. We're standing. I'm still tied up by my IFB. Do you think that's from just getting beat up all the time? Is it a habit that forms of just like, I can't step into any throw
I think there is some of that.
Yeah.
But I know he's being taught like that too. I've seen enough on social media where at first that's what I was taking it as. I was going, damn, it's just, he's throwing off his back foot because he's always getting hit in the face, so he's just used to throwing like that. But then I started to see throws, especially last year more than ever, where I went, wait, there's nobody around him and he's still doing that? And then I started to see who he's working with on social media and all stuff like that. And I would just want to go, I couldn't disagree with the coaching of that throwing and what I see young kids doing out there now more than ever. I don't get it. I see my son look at it and I go, oh my gosh, would you stop with that hip flip shit? Just step into the ball and drive and throw it, right? You're not taking advantage of all your God-given skills there. I didn't even mean to go down that wormhole, but I think it was worth bringing up there.
Very instructive, and a bonus to those who are watching on YouTube and Peacock,
Hopefully.
as I mentioned earlier. Jones averaged 7.1 air yards per attempt in the last 5 seasons. That was 5th worst in the NFL in that span, behind Alex Smith, Jared Goff, Cam Newton, and Ben Roethlisberger, and so not pushing the ball down the field. He is the underdog to start for the Colts week 1, plus 190. Richardson is the favorite, but I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like this could be
the
resurgence of Daniel Jones.
Hey, he was in a tough spot. I think it's great that he got a new look, a new feel. Minnesota, I could just tell you, they really liked him. They wanted him to stay there, right? So that tells you something too. Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer, got a 7-8 weeks with Daniel Jones, and they were like, wow. Most people in football will tell you that if the Vikings got to the divisional round, if they had somehow beat the Rams in the wild card game, Daniel Jones was going to be the backup in that divisional round game. And because of the way Sam Darnold was playing and had been playing, Daniel Jones was on his heels more than people realize.
Wow.
Right? So that just tells you how impressed they were with him. I think that says something. Yeah, it's been quick throws, but as we talked about, some of that is the protection around him and the team and what they've had, and that's been an issue. But his down-the-field throwing does have to improve. There's no doubt about that.
So I think that he will make those improvements, and I think he will crap. I think this is the year where he does his business and can finally stand up off that
If
toilet.
you made me bet, I would be right there with you. I totally would.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to be optimistic today because the other quarterback in this tier, Justin Fields, I think, will he ever be the quarterback that can do everything and be the surgeon? Probably not. But can he harness the things that he does best?
That's right.
Lead a team?
Right.
I think Justin Fields can do that.
I think there's a chance of that too. I'm not giving up on Justin Fields. I'm not. It's never going to – I don't know if it's ever going to look as pretty as we want it to look. I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah. I think I'm there with you as well. Right, we're into what? What year is this for him? 6, 7? This is year 6, right?
Is that
but,
many?
But we're still talking about the same type of things we talked about after year 1, and we're in year 2. It's still like, yes, there's some wow moments of throwing the ball, but overall, it's year 5. You're too heavy there. But there's still overall too many throws that are missed that, you just would go, damn, I'd like my NFL starter to hit that or throw a different type of ball that would be more appropriate here. Right? So he's not the most gifted thrower in the world, but he's gotten better at it every year. He's a pretty good decision maker, okay? And, of course, we know the athleticism and what he can bring to the table there. And that's where I think you're talking about, and I hope that's what they just lean into. Hey, here's what he does well, throwing the football. We're going to use him in the run game. We're going to use him as a decoy in the run game to help other guys in the run game and build it off of that. And hopefully, slowly but surely, almost like they did with Jared Goff in Detroit, same coaching regime, we'll try to filter out some of the things he's bad at and work on them and make them good enough to where we forget all about that stuff of Jared Goff and anything and just go, damn, he's a good damn quarterback. And that's what you hope for with Justin Fields, that they can formulate the offense around him. But, yeah, there's a lot to like. But still, it's a delivery that's kind of slow, and it's still a delivery and a throwing motion that leads itself to the ball being off target just a little bit more than you would like for an NFL starting quarterback.
Yeah, not bad weapons, though. You know, you got Garrett Wilson. You got Josh Reynolds there. You got a running game. So last year, 4-2 as a starter.
Yeah.
Highest completion percentage of his career. Just 1 interception. Lowest sack percentage of his career. So some numbers trending in the right direction.
He did some things that were right there last year. And I think if they probably look back at it, they could probably go, we took Justin Fields out because we thought Russell Wilson gave us an advantage in this area and this area. But I bet you when it was all said and done, they probably went, I think actually Justin Fields gave us an advantage in more areas than Russell Wilson did, because after the first few games and people figured out how we played and did all that, there was nothing else we had to offer for Russell Wilson. And the offense became stale, as we saw the last 5-6 games of the year. There just wasn't much there. Fields, tough as hell, hangs in the pocket forever. He is getting better at not watching the rush and seeing downfield and doing all that. But, yes, the arm, not super explosive. It's not going to be a lot of sidearm and, look at him slide and make this move and do all that type of stuff. And you get a sense, too, like I said this, too, the Chicago the year before. You get a sense watching the game that, the offenses just can't unveil their offense. That they're a little bit like, he doesn't do this that well, so we don't want to do that play. Or, we don't trust him here, so let's just call it like this, whatever it may be, to where I don't want to say managing him, but he doesn't get the just, hey, we'll run any play in our playbook all the time whenever we want. I don't think he's gotten the confidence of Arthur Smith or any coach he's been with so far, as far as that's concerned.
Maybe it finally comes this year, and he's another quarterback that I think he craps.
You think this is the year?
I think he craps this year. Yeah,
I think if you make me bet, I'm going to believe that too. He's not going to lead the NFL in quarterback rating. That's not what he's going to be. You're going to hope that he takes care of the ball, makes some explosive plays with his arm, throwing the ball down the field. He's a pretty good deep ball thrower. And then you're going to hope he makes a handful of runs every game, too, that are extremely dangerous to help out your team and make teams worry about, oh, gosh, we always have to worry about Justin Fields running the ball, which will lead to more optimal passing looks that he can succeed in.
Pete asked a good question. Will he have the type of year that will make him the starting quarterback week 1 of 2026 for the Jets? Will they finally feel like they have their guy? Or will they be in the quarterback market next year, which looks like it'll be a pretty good quarterback class potentially?
Yeah. I'm gonna be more like you and be optimistic too.
Yes.
And I think this is a group that won't overanalyze or won't over just put it on him all the time, right? I believe this Detroit group's a little bit like, no, we got to help him. We're a team. We're not just going to make it all about the quarterback all the time and do that. And I think that'll help Justin Fields out a lot too. Yo, homies, what's up? Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. And just because the weather's warm doesn't mean football ain't still on our brains right here.
We are still working, so smash that subscribe button. We got all the training camp news, preseason news, everything up until kickoff night.
Thanks for watching. And again, remember to hit that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.